What up, my golfers? This is Jeff Stanislow, and it's time to go low here, right on AM 820 every Saturday morning on the Big 8 in Tampa. So, as you know, I'm usually the host and I get to ask the questions, but today we're going to flip the script. We got Emily Nowak with us today. Emily is works with Golfers Unite and helps me get everything done, bringing these great radio shows to you, helping with the social media channels and content, and kind of like helping me out to build Golfers Unite. And Emily, thanks for joining us here this morning.
Of course, yeah, I'm happy to be here, ask you some questions about the road trip. I know it's been super exciting. You've been doing a great job of keeping social media updated, so it kind of feels like we're along with you on this road trip. So, yeah, that's awesome.
Great. So I am the guest and you are the host today. Let's talk about this road trip.
Yeah, so how far are you in at this point? You're a week and a half in? 2
Yeah, I
weeks in?
left
Just about?
on May 6th.
Yeah, so you are
So
trucking along. Um, of course, what is your favorite course so far? You've hit some awesome spots. I need to know what your favorite has been so far.
So yesterday was the highlight. I played Paynes Valley in the Ozarks at the Big Cedar Resort. It was absolutely fantastic, Emily. I mean, the course conditions were incredible. The views were incredible. I just really, really enjoyed every shot on this golf course. And we'll put some content up with some of the images here and on our social channels pretty soon, on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. Just search up Golfers Unite. But Paynes Valley, by far, the best course that I played and one of my better rounds. I shot 79.
Awesome.
I didn't lose a golf ball. It's pretty open.
Oh, okay.
Tiger Woods designed the course to be playable so people could enjoy the views and enjoy the experience of being out there. So it was a very, very wonderful day. It was pretty windy, but it shot 79. And on the famous 19th hole that Tiger has, it's got 18 holes, and then they have this cool little par 3 19th hole. I made a birdie, 94 yards, stuck it about 10 feet left of the pen, and made the birdie. So that was the highlight round and the highlight hole.
So interesting. A 19th hole. I feel like if anything, you see a practice hole kind of there in the beginning, but a 19th hole just to kind of wrap it all up. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool because you come in off of 18 and you kind of drive into the caves from the mountainside, I guess, not Rockies mountainside, but still probably 200-300 foot elevation of like a rock cutout. And you pop out and there's just this little par 3, and they come out of the place and they take your picture and do all this cool stuff and give you a bag tag. And
Cool.
the experience was just as awesome as the golf. They have a really cool crow's nest. It's kind of a halfway house off of number 8, where you get free beef dog, snacks, drinks, and stuff like that. Trust me, you pay for it for the round, but it's a cool experience. And it is the only place that you can get the exclusive Paynes Valley, punch logo apparel. So that's kind of a cool thing. So
cool, very cool. And Big Cedar Lodge, they have the amazing driving range, right? With the waterfalls and island greens.
no, well, not where I went. So
Oh, okay.
driving range was nice and normal. I ended up hitting balls by Ozark National. So they have 3 courses there. They have Ozark National. They have Buffalo Ridge, and I played Buffalo Ridge, and Buffalo Ridge is my second favorite golf course. We can talk about that in a minute if you'd like. And then they have Paynes Valley, but then they also have walkable and a short par 3 game. They have Top of the Rock. They have Cliffhangers, and another one, but it's just a really, really great experience. So it's kind of designed for golf trip people. They have a lot of lodging and chalets and Airbnbs in the community at Big Cedar. The service is second to none. I mean, it's really fantastic. Not like over the top, like resort exclusive, but a good, cool, like Ozarks kind of country feel vibe going on at a Big
Okay.
Cedar.
I like that, a little more low key. Having worked at resorts, that was kind of my favorite part. All the stuff off the golf course, giving them kind of that great experience and the little extras that go into it, like the bag tag. I love stuff like that when they can just give a little touch of something off the course to kind of help that along. Tell us about Buffalo Ridge. See some buffalo out there? Are there any
Yeah,
out there
so
kind of?
number right off the bat on the number one tee, beautiful, downhill up on the left hand side there. There's buffalo, like
So cool.
live buffalo. The Big Cedar partnered with a buffalo rancher, and there's buffalo throughout the course. Probably on 5 or 6 different holes, you get to see them, and talk about a different spectator experience than
Yeah.
what you're used to. So we'll also put some more stuff up on Buffalo Ridge on our socials, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, X, and what have you. If you just search up Golfers Unite.
Cool. I will say I just saw my first buffalo about a couple weeks ago. We have some around here, and it is crazy. They're huge.
They are big.
Yeah,
They are
it's
big.
really
But
cool.
Buffalo Ridge is a more difficult course.
Okay.
It's kind of like a hybrid between Paynes Valley and Ozarks National. Now, Ozarks National is the hardest of the 3 golf course, but for kind of a golfer like myself that wants the experience of the Ozarks, you know, beautiful views, but yet it still has some shot making skill sets that's needed. I think I shot 85 on
Okay.
Buffalo Ridge, which is still a good round for me. So I enjoyed it. Kudos to Big Cedar. They just do a great job there. And if you're looking to do a trip, it's right inside Branson, Missouri. And so there's a lot to do in Branson. You can stay downtown if you want. You don't have to stay at the resort. There's entertainment and shows and, kind of cool, downtown vibe. So there's more to do than just golf. And I know there's destinations like Bandon Dunes and cool stuff. And even up in Michigan there, Forest Dunes, but there's just not much around it. So Branson and Big Cedar give you a lot to do, which is really cool.
That's cool. Yeah. And I feel like it still kind of feels a little tucked away on those golf courses still. Like you don't feel like you're probably in a big town. It is cool if they're playable. I know sometimes you can get out to these destinations and you need a caddy, you need them to kind of show you the way. But let's get down to the reason behind this trip. So the reason behind this trip is to raise money to donate a car to a veteran through Appreciate Your Service. Can you tell us a little bit about why you started Appreciate Your Service, or kind of a little more about the background of the trip?
Sure. I did not serve the military. I was getting ready to go into the military, and my mom and dad said, "Well, this is what we think your generation's doing is education is important. So we've saved some money and we want you to go to school." So I ended up going to Michigan State University and getting my undergrad there. But I've always had an affinity for and supported, veterans and first responders, or our American heroes causes. And so about a year ago, I started Appreciate Your Service. It's at appreciateyourservice.org. And, part of my thought process on going on this road trip is to do something different. And, so do the golf. And while I'm out there on the road, raise money so we can hopefully buy a veteran a car on July 4th, or, maybe around September 11th for 9/11. So we started this campaign out, and to date, we raised almost $4,000 on this trip, which is fantastic. And, I'm reaching out to the social media networks as it grows and asking people for help. So if you're listening and you want to help, you can go to golfersunite.com/road trip. Again, golfersunite.com/road trip. This is Jeff Stanislow, the founder of golfersunite.com. This episode here on AM 820 is brought to you by our friends at AMAC, the Association of Mature Adult Citizens. It's amac.us.
Awesome. And even beyond raising the money and kind of helping veterans, you've been meeting a lot of amazing people. How has that been going? How has kind of been, looks like you've kind of been mingling with people in the golf shop, meeting them there. You have been partnered up with some people. How is that going? And kind of how are you opening up these doors to these people and getting to know them a little more?
Well, I mean, that's probably one of the coolest things about being in golf is just the people, the stories. So I left Tampa on, May 6th or May 7th. It was, May 6th is when I left. Started the Golfers Unite road trip, and my first stop was in Dothan, Alabama. I played Highland Oaks there, and I met some great people that I have got connected with on social media. As I was going, I started putting out some social posts that I was going on this road trip, and the community has been amazing. It's like, hey, come play here. Are you going here? Let's play together. So in Dothan, I played with several people, including a gentleman named Kevin Montana and our friend JT Bammer. We had a great time, and Rob Person, and the four of us went out and just really, really enjoyed meeting each other, because you have this social media world, and then you kind of are able to connect people, like-minded people, together in real life, or IRL as they call it. And it brings that sense of connection to the next level. And now these people will continue to support Golfers Unite, and I'll continue to support them and their initiatives. And then we're talking about already maybe trying to do a Golfers Unite tournament or charity outing or something like that in Tampa this fall, and they want to help out and be a part of it. So that, and just the people at the destinations have been great. The people at the Shoals, also a Robert Trent Jones course up just north of Montgomery, fantastic people. I ended up heading over towards Little Rock, and I played this small golf course, or small communities in Tunica, Mississippi, and Tunica National. And the people there were so kind, so understanding. They basically, several of these golf courses, Rabsamen, Little Rock, Tunica, have just given me the keys to the cart and said, we appreciate what you're doing for the veterans through appreciateyourservice.org. And through our efforts here at Golfers Unite at golfersunite.com. You can click the road trip button if you want to check it out, and follow along and see where I'm going, and check the socials for, daily updates on the whole road trip. But absolutely amazing. Got to interview several of the directors of golf, and, just meet great people. And one of the guys that I ran into just in the parking lot at Tunica National had won the state amateur in Mississippi 3 times.
Wow, that's
once as a young
amazing.
man, once as a middle-aged person, and now he's probably 75 years old, and he won just the senior amateur in the state of Mississippi just recently. So it's just a really cool story for being on the road.
That's awesome. And then just to kind of wrap it up here, where are you headed next? What destinations are you looking forward to? What's the plan?
So I came back to Little Rock. So I went all the way west to Kansas City, to Manhattan, Kansas. Played a great golf course there. It was 2 of them actually, Stag Hill, and then God, why am I drawing a blank on the other one? It's Kansas State. So that's what it is. Kansas State's home course for the Kansas State men's game. It's Culbreth Hills is the name of it. Great golf course. I played with some friends there again. Justin Howard, he's on TikTok and goes live all the time. And but he made me play it from the tip. So that one beat the heck out of me. I think I shot 86 or 87 there, windy day, but So from Manhattan, I came back and played Paynes Valley, and then now I'm back in Little Rock, resting my back today, resting my mind a little bit. So visiting my son Jack, who lives in Little Rock, and from here, my next destination is going to be Nashville. And then I'm going to probably head east a little bit. And then the goal is to kind of go up into Michigan and play 4 or 5 rounds in Michigan, visit some friends and family up there. So having a great time though, doing this and raising money for the charity, appreciateyourservice.org. If you want to help out, just go to golfersunite.com/road trip. And
Awesome.
Emily, thanks for flipping the script here with me today.
Yeah, that
and
was fun.
interviewing me. That was a lot of fun. For more, you guys always tune in to Let's Go Low show here, brought to you by Golfers Unite on AM 820 every Saturday morning. We thank you very much, and go low. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another great episode of Let's Go Low here, brought to you by Golfers Unite and our friends at AMAC, amac.us on the Big 8 AM 820 in Tampa. Our special guest today is a guy that's been in golf, has helped grow the golf community and the golf world. Our friend Chris Karamitsos is a partner of LIPG, which is the Leisure Investment Properties Group, and he helps get deals done for golf courses. Chris, thanks for joining us this morning.
Hey, thank you very much, Jeff. It's a pleasure to be on your show.
Fantastic. Now, Chris, you've been in golf for a long time. Why don't you tell us a little bit about backstories, like how you got into the industry? Was it passion project? Was it business opportunity? Tell us, about your golf. Are you a golfer yourself? What's your handicap? Give us a little backstory for our listeners today.
Oh, right. Well, thanks very much, Jeff. Yeah, it very much was a passion of mine coming out of college. I didn't really play on a college team, but when I went in the Army, I had a lot of time to play golf when I wasn't out in the field, and it became a true passion. And once I exited the Army, I said, well, what am I going to do? Do I want to go to law school? Do I want to go to work here or there? And I was friends with the local pro up in Georgia, and he said, hey, why don't you look to get in the golf business? And I applied for a job in Florida, in Naples, and that was my first job coming right out of the Army. I think I was like 28, 29 years old, and I was an assistant pro at a club in Naples called Countryside Country Club, not to be confused with our beautiful Countryside Country Club here in Clearwater. But that was my start, and I got a taste of the golf business, and I've been fortunate to really have a lot of great mentors. There was a guy named Stu Raymond down there who was a great head pro. I got introduced to Ken Venturi, who actually became my mentor as a teacher, and I went to work for him up here in the Tampa area. And I did the teaching pro thing for a while. Greg Gagliardi, who was running that whole Paradise Golf. He brought me into Landsbrook back in the early 90s. And I learned a lot from him operationally, on the marketing side. He was a great mentor for me. I've had such great mentors in this industry. And
yeah, one of the things that's really cool about the golf industry is just how much people genuinely want to help other people in the golf. I think it's a commonality between golfers and people who have a passion for the sport. They want to see it grow. They want other people to, play golf or be in the golf business. It's fantastic. So we're talking with Chris Karamitsos, partner at Leisure Investment Properties Group. Chris, first and foremost, thank you for your service, serving the Army. We appreciate that very much. You're listening to Jeff Stanislaw here on the Let's Go Low show on AM 820, the Big 8, every Saturday morning from 8 to 9 a.m. This episode's brought to you by Golfers Unite. It's golfersunite.com, and our friends at AMAC, the Association of Mature Adult Citizens, amac.us. Chris, when you mentioned you had a mentor and someone that taught you the ropes here in the Tampa Bay area, how important was that for you, when you were getting started in your golf career?
Extremely important, because you have to build off of what other people teach you. Nobody goes into it knowing the answers themselves. It's a compilation of you know years and years, decades and decades passed down from one generation to another. uh the golf industry, whether it's business, whether it's the operational side, the playing, teaching. The more you can learn, the better off you are, and the more mentors you have. And like I said, I've been very fortunate in that regard.
Fantastic. Chris Karamitsos, partner at LIPG, Leisure Investment Properties Group. Let's dive a little bit into your business. Now, you started off after serving the country in the Army as assistant pro, and then you got mentored by some other great people, and you started off doing that. Now you are in the business of buying and selling golf courses. What a fantastic journey. Maybe tell us how you kind of went from your earlier days and got involved in, maybe the real estate and the business side of golf courses.
Sure. When I exited the club side of the business, I had the privilege of becoming the junior golf chair for the North Florida PGA section. I was doing a lot of work with U.S. Kids Golf. And I had the Tampa tour, which is now run phenomenally by Tom Shea, a great local PGA professional, does a great job with that. But my father was partners in a real estate firm, and he coaxed me to come to work with them. And from there, I started learning more and more about real estate. And then my current partner now, Steve Ekovich, and we've got a couple other partners, but he recruited me to go to a national firm called Marcus and Millichap and begin the leisure division for them, and basically work on in the golf airspace, saying, hey, you know what? There's probably a need for good, competent brokering of golf course facilities, golf courses, golf master plan communities. I'll bet there's not a lot of it out there. So we took a swing at that, and we hit a home run, basically. We've got our own firm now. We broker the sale of golf courses all over the United States. Here in the Tampa area, I think we've brokered, probably well over a dozen deals. Black Diamond Ranch, Lakewood Ranch, some of the other prominent courses like the Cabot, Worldwood Steel, that was our deal. We've sold the Eagles a couple of times, Feather Sound. We've really we've made a pretty good mark here, and it's been a great journey for us. We've been so fortunate and so blessed. We've got a great team, and it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's really cool. I can imagine your experience, learning the green grass side of golf, and then going into the kind of real estate world and understanding that, and then you just mirrored the two together. What a fantastic story. We're talking with Chris Karamitsos, who's a partner of the LIPG, which is Leisure Investment Properties Group. Buying and selling golf courses and resorts and properties. You named some fantastic courses here in Tampa that you've been a part of, including Black Diamond and Cabot and Feather Sound, and doing deals right there. So a quick question, there's a lot of people out here that are listening that said, God, I would love to own a golf course, or be a part of it. Why don't you tell us, in a nutshell, some of the things to look for if someone's thinking about that, whether it's operationally wise or capital wise. Golf is hot right now, but what does it really take, and what's the first kind of step to maybe evaluating a potential opportunity, and of course share how someone might get a hold of you if that's in their their wheelhouse or their dream.
Sure, I appreciate that. Well, you know, there used to be an old saying that to make a small fortune in the golf business, you'd have to start with a large fortune. And that that has totally flipped on its head. You know, coming out of the pandemic, golf just grew. You know, golf got way oversupplied coming out of the 90s and the early 2000s with the Tiger phenomenon, and you know, the USGA didn't do us any favors with the notion that we had to break ground on a golf course a day in order to keep up with demand. But we got oversupplied, and then once we had the economy implode in 2008, a lot of these golf courses went under. We've gone from having hundreds of golf courses closing every year to now, because we were oversupplied, to actually now almost being undersupplied. We've got equilibrium now in the golf industry. We've got enough golf courses. We almost need more golf courses, but not to go on that building spree like we used to, because, you know, the economy can change. But to get into golf, it's interesting. You know, a lot of investors have looked at this and said, you know, the returns in golf aren't like the returns in some of the other core commercial real estate investments, like apartments and retail, and those
Sure.
those are all very good investments, usually pretty safe investments, but their returns are very low. And what happened was, when we came out of the pandemic and then interest rates started to go extremely high, what happened was people couldn't go and finance apartment complexes that would return 4%, but the amount of money you're going to borrow is going to cost you 8%. Right?
Yeah, it didn't work out.
Right. It doesn't work out. So people are saying, well, where do I put my money? And so when you can borrow money at 7 and 8%, and you can go buy a golf course that's going to return you 12 and 13%, there you go. So we had a lot of what they call in the industry capital migration come out of certain sectors of the real estate market and look at different specialty assets like golf, like marinas, like RV parks, things that cater to leisure, because people, after all this pent up demand for getting out and doing things coming out of the pandemic, all those sectors did well. I mean, the boating, you look at any
boating and
boating
RVs went nuts.
Yeah, they went nuts. You look at all the commercials for RVing, and that's become very, very popular. I know a lot of people have gotten into that. So, you know, getting into golf, it's an exciting thing to do. There are good investments. Don't let people cloud you with the thought that, oh, you couldn't possibly make money in the golf business. You can make a lot of money in the golf business. There's a lot of very successful people who've done it.
Yeah, well, fantastic. We're talking with Chris Karamitsos. He's a partner of LIPG, which is Leisure Investment Properties Group, talking about the golf course or resort management and business and buying and selling and acquiring golf courses. It's really, really good information that we're sharing here, Chris. And I appreciate you doing this. This is Jeff Stanislow, your host with Golfers Unite, hosting the Let's Go Low show here on the Big 8, AM 820, every Saturday morning. Brought to you by our friends at AMAC, amac.us, the Association of Mature Adult Citizens. Chris, we talked about that pendulum stuff coming out of the pandemic. It was a catalyst for what you called investment migration into other assets, such as golf courses, RVs, things of that nature. Where are we at today? Is it cooled off? Is it still hot, or is it just backed off a little bit? I'm really excited to share this information with our listeners, and I think they'll, get a big understanding of where they think things are too.
Yeah, it's a great question, because that's something that we get asked all the time. I speak on a lot of panels at different golf conferences, Golf Inc. and NGCOA and things like that. And they ask that very question, has it cooled off? it hasn't cooled off. I think it's stabilized. It's pretty much staying exactly the same. Rounds continue to be strong throughout, whether it's, your daily fee courses, private courses have waiting lists now. We've never seen initiation fees this high. Golf courses that, 20 years ago, you'd get in for $20,000 and now over $100,000. I just read something about a golf course coming online here in the Tampa area, possibly in the next 2 years. And that it's going to be a master plan community with a golf course. And the initiation fees, early indication is that they're going to be $175,000, which is almost unheard of in this market. So yeah, it's golf has remained very strong. And for the transaction side of it, basically it sounds counterintuitive, but when interest rates really went up, it really helped our sector of it. It didn't help a lot of other sectors, but it helped our sectors because people had to still put money to work, and where are they going to put it? Now what we're thinking of is, if we get a little rate relief, we still might see some pretty good investment. We're looking at possibly maybe 50 or 100 basis points in the next 12 months of interest rate relief. Now, as long as that, not to get too germane about it, but those mortgage rates are really tied to the 10-year Treasury, and if that starts to we start to see a little rate relief there, you could see even more investment in golf. You'll see more. I heard a story where Jamie Dimon I think he's with not Citi, but JP Morgan.
JP Morgan Chase,
yeah, JP Morgan Chase. He said that there's something like $7 trillion of investment that's just sitting in money markets on the sideline, just collecting interest. And once those interest rates start to go down and that becomes less of an attractive way to put your money to work, that money is going to go to work in other investment vehicles, a lot of which is going to be commercial real estate. And part of that is also going to be in the golf airspace. So we're going to see a lot of that. We're going to see a lot of investment continue. I think golf is very strong going forward. It's going to be great.
Fantastic. Chris Karamitsos, partner of LIPG Group. Chris, before we break, and I'd love to have you come back for another episode, if someone wanted to reach out to you, what's your website that they can go check you out?
Yeah, they can go to thelipg.com. That's THELIPG.com. They can reach anybody in the firm. We've got a phenomenal team. They can reach me. And yeah, that's the easiest way.
I'd love to have you come back on right after the show. We'll take a quick break here. This is Jeff Stanislow coming live to you here at AM 820 on the Big 8, brought to you by Golfers Unite. We'll be right back. Welcome back to another episode of Let's Go Low here on AM 820 every Saturday mornings, the Big 8, brought to you by Golfers Unite, golfersunite.com. Check out our site. We got a lot of great offers and opportunities for golfers of all different passions and all different levels. And our friends at AMAC, it's the Association of Mature Adult Citizens. That's amac.us. Chris Karamitsos is joining us once again. We started diving in about buying and selling of golf courses, and we got an industry expert here with us telling us about the ins and outs. We started diving in just a little bit, talking about the market shifts and the use of funds and where things are going from the pandemic craze in golf and all the deals to, what's going on today and the stabilization. Right now, Chris, what I'd like to do is kind of dive into some hypotheticals. And let's say, someone's looking to buy a golf course and someone's looking to sell a golf course. And this is what you do in your sweet spot. Tell us what, some of the initial things that you do that comes top of mind that our listeners might get some value out of.
Sure. Well, people who are looking to sell are typically, though there's a number of reasons for wanting to sell, and it can be anything from partnership dynamics or whatever. But most people today that are looking to sell, they're really looking to take their chips off the table. They've owned a golf course, they've owned it through the bad times. They've seen the market change. They've now turned the corner. Their golf course has made a lot of money for them over the last 3 or 4 years. And now it's time to take advantage of that and say, okay, this could be somebody else's. There's still some upside left in this, and I can take my chips off the table, make a nice return. And so we work with a lot of those people that think it's time to divest now. Also, a lot of times, people are saying, "Hey, I've got a loan coming due, and the interest rates are a little higher than when I bought this, and if I'm going to, refi this, I'm not going to be making quite as much money, so maybe I need to sell it to somebody who can just buy it all cash." And so those people are a lot of folks we work with. Now, I'll tell you. As well as buying golf courses, because they are such good investments these days and they're returning so well. Most golf courses trade on a multiple of income, right? So you can buy a very nice golf course for under $5 million.
Right. So $5 million gets you a nice golf course. We're talking with Chris Karamitsos, a partner of the LIPG, which is the Leisure Investment Properties Group. Chris, your expertise in this space is very valuable, and I hope our listeners are really enjoying this conversation as well. This is Jeff Stanislow, your host of the Let's Go Low Show here on AM 820, The Big 8, every Saturday morning. And it's brought to you by Golfers Unite. It's golfersunite.com. We're going to put this and our previous episode up with Chris at our website. You guys can check it out anytime, golfersunite.com. And our friends at AMAC, the Association of Mature Adult Citizens, amac.us. Chris, we mentioned the demand and in the previous episode about how, memberships, the downstroke to get into a club is at all-time highs. There's waiting lists, and there's this demand is there. But we also have on the flip side the affordability issue that is in mainstream media, and so you look at the golf, like country clubs are rocking and rolling, and their dues are higher. Their initiation fees are at all-time highs. Talk to us a little bit about like a public golf course and the rates there and what's going on in that space. And it seems like it's a dichotomy. You have a lot of young golfers that can't afford to join these clubs nowadays, and maybe just your thoughts on the industry there quick, and then we'll dive back into the business side of things.
Sure. I think that's a great question. We love to grow the game, right? You and me and the PGA of America. I mean, we all love to see the more golfers, the better. One of the options for someone wanting to get in to golf, we say that there's really a golf course for every level.
Sure.
From a talent level to an affordability level. I mean, there are golf courses you can go out, have a great time, pay 25 or 30 bucks to go play 18 holes. There are those golf courses out there. In fact, some of them I call recession-proof golf courses because, when the economy turns and if you get into recession or whatever, people don't stop playing golf. They just play less expensive golf. So the guy who used to pay $80 to go play on the weekend, he's going to pay $40, and the $40 guy is going to pay $20. So you still see that. And so there's a golf course out there for everybody. But you're right. When did you think we would see in this market, just on daily fee golf courses, resort courses, look at what they get at Innisbrook. Look at what they get at Cabot. Look at what they're getting at Stream Song. I mean, it's hundreds of dollars to go tee it up. And I mean, that just shows you what the demand is. If golf was not as strong as it is, you wouldn't see these rates out there.
Right. We're talking with Chris Karamitsos, the partner of LIPG Group. It's Leisure Investment Properties Group. You guys can Google Leisure Investments Property Group. Connect with Chris if you're interested in buying or selling a golf course, or capitalizing or recapitalizing, or doing all that different types of stuff with your golf course. He's one of the industry's leading experts in this space, has done deals with Black Diamond, Feather Sound, Cabot here locally in the Tampa Bay area, and many more. You were talking a little bit about the business model. Where do golf courses make money, and where do they lose money? What do you kind of look for when you're evaluating, doing an analysis of a potential golf course sale?
Super great question, and I'll tell you why. There's an old saying, EBITDA is like the net operating income. Okay, so there's a saying that not all EBITDA is created equal, and that is true. So there's a quality of income issue with golf courses. So one of the things one of my partners has a saying, says, are you a golf course with a restaurant, or are you a restaurant with a golf course?
Yes.
So where you make your money is on the golf side. If you look at a golf course and you look at the total top line revenue, and you see it and it's 50-50 between golf and food and beverage, the quality of the income is not that good, because there's a lot more margin in golf than there is in food and beverage. What we really look for is, we want to see, especially in a daily fee club, we want to see, of the total income, we like to see 2/3 of it coming from the golf side of the house, and maybe 1/3 coming from the food and beverage. Now, there's a little difference there. If you're really also a really high-end place, and you got great wedding business, great banquet business, there's a lot better margin in weddings, and so that can offset it a little bit. But so when we value a golf course, we take all those things into account. So one of the things that very, very important is that when you take a golf course out to market, it has to be priced properly. If it's not priced properly, then you're just wasting everybody's time. And the only way you price it properly is to analyze the income the way we do, and assign the proper value to it.
Yes. And then we're talking with Chris Karamitsos, the partner of Leisure Investment Properties Group here. This episode of Let's Go Low is brought to you by Golfers Unite, golfersunite.com. You can catch this and all our episodes of the Let's Go Low show at that website. Chris, you bring up a good thing, operating a golf course. If you've owned a golf course a lot of years, there's a lot of, like, buying and selling of anything, right? It's the value proposition. You may have, your golf course may be your baby, right? And you may think it's worth way more because you're so in love with it, and diving into the actual true valuation sometimes may be hard, but you also have a larger economic issue that you got to analyze in buying and selling a golf course. Like, what's the census saying? What's the marketplace saying? Are they growing? Are they building a new exit ramp near your golf course? So there's a lot of value things that you guys look at. The operating, who's operating it, and what's the pro shop doing? Is there room, to put some marketing dollars? Where does a golf course, let's start with, where does a golf course lose money, and what do they do wrong often?
I see golf courses lose money in the food and beverage operation if it's not run properly. Like, you'll see different golf operators go, well, you can't make money in the food and beverage. Well, that's wrong. I've seen guys that can turn a really good profit. When I was at Landsbrook Golf Club, my GM was Greg Gagliardi, one of the best operators you'd ever meet in your life. And he always made money in the food and beverage. And he taught me that you can make money. You have to be very sensitive to the cost. You have to really monitor this shrinkage, all that stuff. You see people that you got to stay on top of it. But that's where you can really lose money. The other place you can lose money, and it sounds kind of strange, but capital improvements. If you don't stay up with your capital improvements and you let too much deferred maintenance creep in,
Sure.
then things start to break, and then you start paying more money you start throwing good money after bad.
Right.
So stay up on your deferred maintenance. Make sure you don't have too much of that. Irrigation is always a big one. So it's always good to, make sure that you stay up on all of that stuff. Very important.
Fantastic. We're talking with Chris Karamitsos, the partner of Leisure Investment Property Group. Amazing stuff that we're talking about. There's so much more behind the scenes of it. I think one of the things that the golfers don't see is actually how much it costs to run a golf course. Let's just bottom line it. You have revenues and you have expenses. Like, how much of that percentage of revenue goes towards the expenses of running a golf course?
Most of it.
Most of it.
I mean, it's if you get a golf course that operates on a 15-20% margin, that's really that's good. What people don't understand is it never gets less expensive to run a golf course.
True.
So you've got wage and hour increases almost all the time now, and not taking away from anybody's salary or anything like that, or wanting to, but it just, and there's only so many golf courses that can pass that expense on to the consumer, because at some point, if it gets too expensive, then what do? You're going to have to cut back in certain areas, and you see that in some instances, but it's very expensive to run a golf course. But it's not rocket science. You know how many rounds of golf you need to break even. Okay. And once you hit that, everything else falls to the bottom line. So if you need, 28,000 rounds to break even, everything over that is, gravy for you. Whatever that is, depending on your on how you're set up. You're a private club, how many members you need to break even. But
yeah, we're talking with Chris Karamitsos, the partner of Leisure Investment Property Group. Chris, I'd love to have you back on the show, at a later date. Maybe we can kind of explore the golf simulator world and what's going on there. I'm sure you have your eyes on that. This is Jeff Stanislow, your host of Let's Go Low here on AM 820. This episode is brought to you by Golfers Unite, golfersunite.com. Go check it out for all your golf needs and information and special deals and offer and play and all that great stuff. And our friends at the Association of Mature Adult Citizens, amac.us. Chris, in our final saying is, if you want to reach out, if you have an interest in investing into golf or selling a golf course, how does someone find you?
Yeah, just go to our website. It's thelipg.com. That's THELIPG.com. And you can get a hold of any one of us there, and we'll be happy to chat with you.
Fantastic. Some great insight that a lot of people don't get behind the scenes on running and operating a golf course and valuation of a golf course, or buying and selling. So our listeners, I hope you appreciate the time today here on the Let's Go Low show. Tune in next Saturday at 8 a.m. on the Big 8 AM 820 for more great golf. Thanks a lot, Chris.
Thank you, Jeff.